Yeah, it's great to see you.
And you?
You look amazing.
Oh, thanks.
I'm loving the blue jumper. Very nice.
Yeah, good
I
to see
wish I
you.
had some more colour out here, but I haven't got any.
Is it sunny?
It's sunny. Yeah, it's very nice actually. If I
Yeah.
flip the camera, I've got quite a
Okay.
nice
That's what I
view.
want to hear about. I don't want
Oh,
to hear
you're
any
great.
more about the weather.
No, fair enough. So I'm really excited to talk to you today. I'll just say that Kate is actually she's my best friend, and she's also very, very cool because she hit midlife and then just totally transformed her career. And she went from like a bigwig in HR. I think you were like a senior manager of a team of 300 people, like you were a bigwig. And then you've retrained to be a personal fitness instructor, and you specialize in menopausal women, which is super cool. I'm all over that. I think that's an amazing idea. And so, yeah, it's really exciting to have you here as a
Thank
guest in
you.
your new role.
Thanks for
Um,
inviting me.
that's all right. And actually, I'm really excited to be talking about habits, because last year I kind of went on a journey where I made some big life changes by experimenting with lots of different habits. A lot of them were quite big ones actually, but also small ones as well. And I would say like a small one that I committed to that I started in last lockdown was going for a daily walk to try and get to like 10,000 steps. And I became obsessive with it. Like, I need to get my 10,000 steps. And I'm really glad I did that. And it's just, that's something I still do to this day. And I think it's, yeah, I just love it because I listen to Audible or whatever, or podcasts. And, and there's other ones. And recently I've started forest bathing, and I love that. And that's quite a small one. You can just head to a forest, and I just feel like really zen afterwards. It's amazing. So it's something I feel really passionate about, like the power of harnessing kind of just small habits
Yeah.
for big change. So yeah, this is kind of cool to
Great.
talk to you about this.
Well, I feel really passionate about it too, because especially at this time of year, and this is what got me thinking about this.
Yeah.
You get to January and your social media feeds are literally covered in New
Year's resolutions.
Yeah, I can't bear all that New Year, New You stuff.
Yeah.
And it's overwhelming. You're supposed to have this new body, you're supposed to have this new diet, you're supposed to,
no booze.
No booze.
No meat. Yeah. Yeah.
All in this 1 month.
And also it's lockdown right now.
And it's lockdown, and I think I saw a stat that 80% of New Year's resolutions have failed by mid-February. And I thought, well, I've got my own thoughts on that, but also I wanted to do a bit more research on it. So I'm hoping that today I can give a few pointers as to how to actually make some habit changes and make them stick, and
yeah,
how to scale them up. So if people think, God, that Kate Oakley is talking about these tiny habit changes, I want to go big.
Yeah.
We'll talk a bit about how to start and how to get to the big ones, because you've done really well with the big ones. But
I have. But I think I agree, like starting small is a good way. So what, like people like resolutions are starting to implode right now because we're like third week in. So what do you think are some of the reasons that they fail like this?
Well, I think first one would be the size of the intention. So someone who has never run or hasn't run for a couple of years says, right, I'm going to do 5K 5 days a week. And on the one hand, I love the ambition, great to be ambitious. And I might sort of err on that side myself, naturally.
Yeah.
But it's you're going from here to here with no steps in between. So then what happens is this person who hasn't run for years sets off with all good intentions, does a couple, then doesn't manage it, then maybe doesn't manage it again, and then just feels dreadful about themselves, thinks they're a failure, and just bins it. And that's why they fail by sort of, first, second week of February. So thinking about small, achievable habit changes, and then you can always build them up. So for that example, I would say, well, why not start off with, I'm going to run for 10 minutes 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how far you get, just start with the 10 minutes. And then you find that that's a habit change you move into quite seamlessly. You can always then increase it to another 5 minutes. And before you know it, that will be a habit change you've implemented. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the same with all kind of goals, really. I think it's good if you're going to set a goal, like maybe break it down into small goals. and start with the small ones and then build up. So yeah, it does totally make sense.
The next thing I'd say is having the right environment. So
Yeah.
I want to sort of call it make it easy for yourself. So the path of least resistance. So if we just stick with the running analogy, if you say you're going to go out running 3 times a week for 10 minutes, but your running trainers are caked in mud, or maybe they're in the boot of your car, or, oh God, my kit's in the wash, it's in the laundry basket. Well, you're just making life difficult for yourself. So, for example, that's why I always put my workout gear on after my shower in the morning. Doesn't matter if I'm even not going to do my workout till lunchtime, I still put it on, because I know that if I get to lunchtime and I'm in normal clothes, I probably can't be bothered to change out clothes and into the running gear.
Yeah, it's kind of like making it easy for yourself, like just having it there when you get up, like lying next to the bed, your running kit, and just put that on, and then at some point during the day you're probably going to run. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
And then, or a client said she wanted to start doing yoga, and so we agreed she'd just start with a small goal of 5 minutes during her working day at lunchtime if she could, and she's put the mat next to her. And yeah, everyone's working from home here at the moment. She's put the mat next to her desk, so she's like, well, at some point I can find 5 minutes in the whole working day, and I've got the mat there, I've got my block there, and I've got the right clothes on, I've not got a suit on or something. So that's making it so easy for herself. And then flip it round, and if you're trying to give up a bad habit, make it
difficult.
Yeah, exactly, make it difficult. And I was thinking,
hide your cigarettes or something.
Yeah, well, and I know it sounds ridiculous, but I thought, God, I do that with chocolate. So rather than having the chocolate in the fridge where I can see it, you know, the 10 times that I go into the fridge that morning, I actually hide it in another room behind the cat food. So,
yeah, that doesn't work for me. But yes, I like the thought process behind that. But
I suppose I have to think, oh, I really fancy a piece of chocolate, and then I go and get it. So it's because I'm not saying I've given up chocolate, I haven't, but I have to really think about going to get the chocolate. It's a decision rather than a habit. It's there in the fridge. Before I know it, I get to the end of the day and go, oh my God, I've eaten a whole bar. I don't even remember doing that because I was on.
Yeah, that's really important difference actually. Yeah, between a habit and like actually having that thought process where I really want the chocolate. I'm going to have to get up, go over there, dig around, find it. Yeah, that's a big difference. Totally.
And then third, I'd say social environment. So
hang on a minute, someone just made a comment back. Let's see if I could see that.
Oh yeah, best diet to not have it in the house.
Absolutely. I was going to say that. Yeah, with chocolate, like just really limit what you buy, and if you stop it at the source, that's the best way.
Ideally, absolutely, just don't even buy it. Like, or if you're trying to drink less, just don't even have wine in the house. So then you've got to actually physically walk to a off license and buy it if you're that determined. I guess it depends where you are on that journey. So if you're thinking I want to cut down, so maybe just don't have it in the fridge chilled. So you're not going to drink a warm glass of wine, I don't think. Most people, white wine. But absolutely, if you can. Or I've got kids and they like biscuits. I buy biscuits that they like and I don't. So I have those in the house and just don't buy the ones that I like. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's good.
Social environment, I would say. So think about who you've got around you.
Yeah.
So, now at the moment, we've probably mostly just got our families around us, and
which isn't always good if your family are in a different space to you. Yeah.
And it's not so. I'd like to eat more vegetarian food, but I've got two teenage boys who, you know them, Saskia, and they moan if there's not meat on the plate. They moan.
Yeah.
So that doesn't really support my goal. But what I can do is have vegetarian lunches, because we all do our own thing at lunch. So I can do that, and then maybe just have vegetarian food twice at dinner, and then they don't moan as much. So if you can, but if you can have people who support you, that might also at the moment be virtual. So I've been having a think about who I'm following, because I'm on this new.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Well, I sort of went on a splurge of starting to follow tons of people. oh God, you know what? They don't make me feel very good about myself. So I'm not going to follow them. So have a think about who you follow.
That's a really good tip, actually. Yeah, because you just end up following people out of habit. Like, you know, I've been on Instagram for a long time, so there's probably lots of people historically that I've followed, and yeah, probably make me feel bad about myself. So,
Well,
that's a good one. Time to purge.
If you're doing a small
Oh, and someone's just said about removing toxic friends in your circle. Yeah, that's tough to do, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you know, the person who you say that you I don't know. So, I mean, you've been brilliant and given up alcohol, which I think is amazing. And I'm sure there's some people who view that as a bit boring, or, oh, you're no, you know, you hear people, oh, you're no fun anymore. And I think, well, that is not supportive. And
I think, yeah, with something like alcohol, that is the hardest thing, because it's this whole there's this whole kind of thing around alcohol. It's more than just alcohol. It's a way of life. It's your social life. And quitting it, yeah, the hardest problem is going out and dealing with people. And there is, you know, everyone kind of going, oh, go on, have one, or that's probably the hardest thing. So lockdown this last year has been really helpful with that, to be honest. There's no temptations but yeah, I mean, you're so right about the people around you. It's kind of like, do I want to spend time with people who think that's a bad thing and look down on me and like, oh, she's being boring again? Or do I find people who are actually, oh, that's kind of cool. It's not for me, but you know, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've done 3.
Sorry. Yep.
Oh, we've got a comment coming in.
Yeah, I've got another comment coming in.
Had a friend who found weird pleasure in my toughest of times.
Oh yeah, they need to go.
Yeah, definitely.
They need to go, spiky curve. Yeah.
Well, that says there's something going on for them, doesn't it, really?
People who revel in your misery, they're toxic as anything, for sure.
So if you want to create habits, get the right people around you, people who are compassionate, supportive. And then also fourthly, think about where and when. And this sounds so obvious, but I'll often hear people say, particularly in my new world of personal training, about the new habits they're going to start. So they'll say, I'm going to go on a lunchtime run. And then you say, how's that going? How's that gone for you in the last week? Well, I only managed it once because colleagues kept putting last minute meetings in. Even though that time's supposed to be, set aside for a lunch break. Well, you're not going to stop the colleagues doing that, really. So then that's just not the right time. Or I had a busy mum who was trying to do a yoga session every morning, just 10 minutes, which I think good, 10 minutes, achievable. But she had young kids and said, I tried, but one of them came in asking me, for breakfast. Another time they wanted to go to the toilet. That's not going to work. So just think about where and when, what time of the day, what room, what environment, and you're more likely to make it happen.
So that's kind of like the making it easy for yourself as well. So it's kind of planning ahead a little bit and going, right, I'm going to do it here. I'm going to have my outfit ready here. And just planning for it, basically, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and if it's not working, have a think about
Change it. What's not working? Yeah.
And then I think the last one, which is perhaps the most important for me, is it's a bit more abstract, so I need to articulate it properly, is have a think about who you actually want to be. So when you're thinking about these habit changes, who do you want to be? Do you want to be a runner? Do you want to be this person who makes healthy choices around lifestyle, nutrition, exercise?
Yeah.
And think about the habits that get you there. And
I love that. That's brilliant.
I've got a friend who I noticed started saying that she was an author.
Yeah.
And then the habits matched what she wanted to become. And lo and behold, she then published a fantastic book.
Oh, I love that.
And I love that. And I think if you start thinking of the end goal, who do you want to be? And I thought for your followers, Saskia, who are going back out there dating, who are thinking, well, when I sit opposite that person in the restaurant or the bar on the date,
am I? Who am I going to be? Yeah.
Who am I going to be?
Yeah. What am I about? Yeah. I mean, we do. Yeah, exactly. We do. We kind of promote that in our dating as well, because I think that's very important. Like, be the person that you would want someone to date, and and the person you want to date as well. So that's such a good way of doing it. Kind of go to the end goal, work backwards, and build yourself there. I mean, brilliant. So if people kept all these factors in mind, which are all really cool, actually, what are some small habits that they could change to feel better about themselves? So we're not going big here, just keeping it small. We're all in lockdown. Life's a bit...
Well, this is a mixture. My answer to this, I think, is going to be a mixture of big and small. So,
okay.
Yes, it's all about the small habit changes, but I would start with the what I call the umbrella habit changes. So habit changes that will then make it easier for you to create these others. So
right, got you.
I'll explain with an example. So sleep, probably not a surprise that I brought that one up. If you get the sleep habit right, you're much more likely to be able to make those smaller changes around exercise, nutrition, the other ones you want to make. So I've been talking a lot to perimenopausal, menopausal women who are struggling with sleep. They're not sleeping well, hot flushes or just disturbed sleep. And it's then really hard the next day to choose
anything.
Anything, actually. Yeah. I mean, who wants to go and do a workout if you're absolutely shattered? Or who wants to choose? I certainly don't want a salad. If I've not slept well, which is I'm menopausal, I don't want a salad.
You want comfort food. Yeah, that's so true.
That feels like a treat because I feel a bit low if I've not slept well.
It's almost like having a hangover sort of thing. You crave all the wrong things and do all the wrong things.
So the habit change around sleep that I'm going to suggest is just an extra 15 minutes a day, because again, that can be this whole thing.
That's manageable.
Because this can be overwhelming because you hear, oh, you need to get between 7 and 9 hours a night. Now I'm thinking 9 hours for me is absolutely not doable.
No, I don't think I've ever had that.
No, I don't think I'm ever going to get there. But 15 minutes, yes, I think I can. And this is one I've been working on actually, because I don't feel I'm getting enough sleep. So 15 minutes, but go to bed earlier 15 minutes, not adding an extra 15 minutes on at the end.
Oh, damn.
So go to bed 15 minutes earlier. And then I'm thinking, well, how do I make that habit change work? So one tip is to, once you've had dinner, actually get ready for bed, which sounds really weird, but get ready for bed, wash your face, brush your teeth, get whatever you wear to bed on, and you're more likely to actually get to bed at the time you want to. Try it. It works.
So you're putting that one to the test.
I'm putting that one to the test because I need to. I'm only at about 7 hours a night, and I need to increase that because it does impact me the next day.
What should we really be aiming for? Like 8? Like 9's impossible. Like 8, 7.5. I think I'm on about 7. Yeah.
Between 7 and 9 hours. There's a great book I'd recommend to anyone who wants to learn more about sleep by Matthew Walker called Why We Sleep. And he talks a lot about why it's important we sleep, the impact of sleep. That's a bit alarming, but and he gives lots of advice on how to increase the amount. And there's a quote that I wrote down because my memory is shot with hormones. He wrote, every action you where is it? Let me find it. Oh, Why We Sleep. Sleep is an investment in your productivity tomorrow. And I
That's
than that and say it's an investment in your whole self tomorrow. Because if you don't sleep well, you don't do any of the other stuff well.
Yeah. So, which is an investment in your future, because what you do tomorrow is basically your, building on that for your future. So it's making it seem very, very important actually.
So that would be a good one. And I'd also say for sleep, if you go to bed at 11 and you set the alarm for 7, that is not 8 hours. You need to factor in probably another extra half an hour of the time it takes you to fall asleep. You wake up generally for a few minutes every night. So you need to factor that in. I mean, I've got so I can see exactly how much sleep I get and how much is light sleep, how many minutes I'm awake. So that's really helpful.
Yeah, I think there's an app on the iPhone that you can do that with as well and track what point you fall asleep, when you're waking up and all that sort of thing. I did that for a while. It's quite scary actually. Yeah,
you get less than you thought you were getting actually, because you think
absolutely.
So, and then exercise I would also call an umbrella habit. I don't know about you, but if I exercise, I then tend to make other choices that are healthier. So if I'm exercising,
Yeah.
I'll eat better.
Yeah.
Are you the
You
same?
feel better about yourself as well. Yeah. Because it lifts your mood, which also makes you make better choices.
Yeah.
So,
Because
yeah.
if you're failing at the exercise, I don't know, I think sometimes they go hand in hand and you think, oh, why bother? You know, I'm not exercising.
Yeah.
Um,
I have very low goals when it comes to exercise, so that I don't feel I'm failing.
well, and you're right to start with the low goals and then build up.
Yeah, but I've never really built up on that over 50 years, but never mind. One day I'll get to bigger goals for exercise. But
Well,
no,
that's why I started this on my page, the 2-minute toothbrush challenge.
which I absolutely love. I'm still doing the shower challenge, like of every day. 2 minutes of cold showering is amazing. So yeah, it's just 2-minute challenges are amazing. I
Well,
love those personally.
2 minutes exercise twice a day, and lots of people who are perhaps not big exercisers have come back to me and said, "Oh, I'm going to give that a go," or "I can do this."
Yeah.
And people have been feeding back to me, "Oh, I started with 30 seconds, now I can do a minute," and then "Oh, brilliant, I can now do a minute and a half," and you can just feel it, that energy.
Yeah, and it kind of builds up as well, because now, like, if I'm washing up, I might do some, some kind of plie squats while I'm washing up and things as well. Um,
That's
so
where
it kind of has, yeah. Once you make that start of, well, it's just 2 minutes while I'm cleaning my teeth. It's like, oh, well, I'm just, waiting for the bath, or I'm just like
waiting for the
doing
kettle
the
to
washing
boil.
up. Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I spend a lot of my life waiting for kettles to boil, and that's a good 2 minutes. So yeah.
And that was more my thinking behind it. Was
Yeah, no, I love that, because it just
someone
slots
said,
right into your life.
yeah, someone said, "Oh, it's a bit of fun, isn't it?" I said, "Yeah, it is a bit of fun, but I'm actually hoping that people just change their mindset around, oh, I can fit 2 minutes in here and 2 minutes in there."
Yeah.
And before you know it, you've got 15, 20 minutes done in the day without having to carve that extra time out.
Yeah.
So we've got sleep, exercise, and then nutrition.
Nutrition.
Again,
So is it like are there three like umbrella ones then?
I would also add in
Breathing.
learning. I would add in learning or reading. And,
Okay. Yeah. That's good.
because, and that's something I'm hearing a lot. I don't know about you. In fact, I think you might have even been one of the people that said it to me, is I'm watching an awful lot of Netflix in lockdown.
I might have been, that might have been me, guilty.
Oh, someone's just written 2-year-old sausage.
Yeah, they could do the
2-minute challenge. Sausage person.
Yeah.
Took my mind off the wailing toddler.
Brilliant. Well,
yeah, anything takes your mind off a wailing toddler. So reading or learning.
that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't expecting you to say that, but that's quite a good umbrella one. Yeah, because that's really important.
And it's going to serve you for the rest of your life, isn't it? And
yeah, can that also be writing as well?
I think
journaling and that sort of thing.
Well, I suppose I was coming at it from an angle of finding solutions to problems.
Yeah, so I would call that creativity, I suppose, because I try and be creative. I try and have a creative habit going where I do something creative at least once a week, if not every day, but which could be writing, reading.
Yeah, we can call it that equally. Yeah,
but learning's good. I think learning's, that's really
creativity, being creative, coming up with a solution to a problem.
Yeah.
And if we all I was thinking, if we set ourselves a small habit change of 15 minutes a day. People are saying to me they've not picked up a book for months. I don't know if lockdown makes you just think, oh, no. But if you, and again, going back to the path of least resistance, so maybe keep a book on top of the remote control before you switch on. Or put it on your pillow. Sometimes I put things on my pillow to not forget them. Again, sort of slight hormonal, brain fog. So just 15 minutes a day. If you think about that, 7 days a week across the months, that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, no, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. And so how long does it take to form a habit? Because I've heard lots of conflicting information. In fact, I was talking to someone earlier who said something completely different to what I was thinking. So I thought I'd ask you, the expert.
I don't profess to be an expert, but I've just been around it. And
yeah.
Well, if you research it, there are probably two main schools of thought. One is it takes 21 days.
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard that one.
Yes, I have.
Well, that comes from, interestingly, that comes from a plastic surgeon in the 60s who noticed, I know, for it, who noticed that it took 21 days or more for people to get used to their new faces.
Oh my God, that is just,
how weird is that?
That is like a weird way to even like judge habit formance. Like, how mad.
I know. And then
okay,
people heard more than 21 days and latched on to 21 days and dropped the more than, because it's convenient, right? Wouldn't we love to think that
it only took 21 days?
It took 21 days.
I'm guessing it takes a bit more than that.
Well, then there was this, the other school of thought. So you've got your 20-day camp, and then you've got your 66 days camp. And
that's a long time.
Well, wait.
What's that, 2 months?
Wait until I give you my answer then. So 66 days, again, comes from another study, but it wasn't, for me, the study wasn't conclusive because they had people doing different things. So they had someone drinking a glass of water with lemon in it in the morning.
Yeah.
Somebody running 5K every day. Well, I can tell you which one I could do more easily.
Yeah, that's not really, that doesn't make sense as a baseline, really.
So my answer, which you're not going to like then, is forever. I think
forever, okay. Well, that sounds more realistic, to be honest.
I think it takes forever. And there's a, did I mention already, a great book by James Clear called Atomic Habits.
Oh, I've seen that in the book charts, yeah.
So it's so good. And
okay.
Got a lot of great information from him. And he says we need to stop looking at habit change as a finishing line to cross, like an event.
Right.
We need to think of it as part of who we become.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. When I think about my non-drinking, it's like, it's a habit, but I could easily have a drink at some point and then it's gone again. So I kind of see it as this is something, that I do. This is who I am now. I'm somebody who doesn't drink. Yeah. So that's what you mean, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And that's
so you have to really think yourself into or want to be the person who doesn't drink or gets up and does exercise, and then you're like inhabit that person and go, this is who I am. I get up every day and I do 15 minutes of exercise, or I don't drink, or I read books like 5 times a week. Yeah.
And this is why diets, I hate that word diets, and why they say
yes.
it. Because I mean, if you're on a diet, that means you can fall off the diet. And
also there's an end game, like there's an end game where you're going to do this and then you're going to go back to whatever you were doing before, which obviously didn't work. Yeah.
It's not a sustained habit change, is it? It's not who you become. And
I think it took me till last year to understand that about diets, because there's so much stuff about it and everyone talks about all these different types of diets, which is so confusing. And then last year I just kind of transformed how I ate, which was just cutting out loads of sugar and stuff and replacing with like vegetables and all that sort of thing. And that's how we eat now, and cut right down on carbs. And it's just, that's how we eat. That's it. But sometimes we have treats. But it's not a diet. It's how we eat.
And when anyone says to me, "Oh, I'm on a diet," I think, "Oh no," because it's not going to be a sustained change for life, is it? It's going to be next time I see them, they'll say, "Oh, I'm not doing that diet anymore."
It makes you feel, yeah, totally. It reminds me of like if someone talks about bad dating habits, I get that same like, oh God, you shouldn't be doing that. It's the same with diets, where you're like, there's just nothing you can say that this is going to be like a good thing in any way for you. It's just not sustainable.
Yeah.
And
I think
and they're actually unhealthy, aren't they? They're like bad for you. It's not even that it's
some of them the concepts actually work. So like some of the fasting diets work, but that's only because over the week you're eating less calories. That's all. And really it's all about, if you want to lose weight, it's about less calories in than you're using, and it's as simple as that. It took me doing my new qualifications and a course on nutrition and losing weight to get that it was that simple. I thought it's bound to be more complicated, but it's actually it's not.
Yeah, I mean, they do tell you that, like, it is very, very simple. You just have to work out what you put in, what you put out. But then, yeah, it gets wrapped up in all these different ways of doing it. And I think for me, like with diets, every diet's so different. Like they all conflict. So you end up like, well, in the old days, I might go, well, I'm doing a bit of that diet and a bit of that one. So you're just eating all the bits that you like. And then together, they obviously don't make up a very good diet.
And I think just while we're on diets, and
yeah,
if anyone's watching and thinking that they wanted to make changes, again, I think people go too big and they say that they're going to not eat any carbs or have any sugar, and I think just go back to making small changes. So that, you know, you're going to cut out fizzy drinks.
Yeah.
You know, if you know that you have a lot of fizzy drinks, just try cutting those out. And as a personal trainer, people say, is that all you're going to say? I thought you were going to say that I had to cut out crisps and cakes and biscuits as well, Kate. And it's almost as if they feel I've not given them enough to work on. And then they actually feel compelled to go and put an extra change in themselves. So then they come back and go, oh,
so they're doing it off their own back,
yeah,
sort of thing. Yeah, brilliant.
Motivating.
That's very smart. I like that.
Rather than being told what to do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so, yeah, another thing that I heard, and actually that I try as well sometimes, is about replacing, when you're giving up a habit or starting a new habit, like replacing a bad habit with a good habit. And that's something I try and do, because otherwise you've got left with a big gaping hole. I mean, is that something that's a good thing to do?
I would say absolutely replace a bad habit with a good habit, or a different cue, perhaps. So if you're trying to give up smoking and you always have one, let's say after lunch.
Stop eating lunch.
Have something else after lunch, like you just go and do a 5-minute walk around the block. Or
oh, I don't know what smokers would say to that, but yeah.
All right, well then think of so you like a couple of biscuits with your coffee.
Yeah.
Maybe you need to change the coffee to a glass of sparkling water.
Yeah.
It's quite hard to have the coffee without.
Yeah, absolutely. Because things trigger something will trigger your bad habit. Yeah, I think that's really important to think about. And that's part of the planning, isn't it? Like planning out how you're getting these habits to work for you. Yeah.
Yeah, and think, so I know someone who's doing really well with not having a glass of wine the minute they finish work, and they are doing that. They're taking the dog for a walk, and by the time they get back from the dog walk, that craving and that cue for, you know, finish the last meeting or Zoom call and having the glass of wine isn't there so much anymore. I'm not saying it's easy, but it does really help.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Brilliant. And so what would you say to people who are thinking, you know, like 2 minutes here and 2 minutes there, like what difference is that going to make? Like, how's that going to help?
Yeah, well, you know, I think I would come back to what we were talking about at the beginning, which is about making these habit changes, the goals to change habits, achievable, so that you can then scale up. So, because there's nothing more rewarding than actually smashing stuff. So these people have been saying to me, I'm doing a 2-minute challenge, Kate. They're ready for more. Whereas if I'd set them a bigger goal.
If you'd started with like 20 minutes,
And I started following someone on Instagram that was just making me feel a bit miserable. And that's because I was watching what she was doing and thinking, God, what I'm doing, you know, I'm not touching the sides in terms of my exercise, because, you know, they're doing pull-ups with chains around them and, you know, stuff like that. Oh my God, I'm so inadequate. So I think come back to making it small and sustainable. And again, back to thinking about who you want to be. So James Clear, who I mentioned, the book Atomic Habits.
The Atomic Habits,
he says this. He says, and I wrote this down too because I think it's really powerful. Every action you take is like a vote for the person you want to become. And if you get enough votes in, you begin to think, yes, this is who I am.
Okay, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah. Does that make sense? It's not too abstract.
No, totally. I mean, basically habits sound like, you know, boring small things, but habits are what make you who you are, aren't they? Every day you make decisions which or you don't. You know, you make decisions, or you just do things because they're a habit, and it's the habits that build who you are. So if you have bad habits, you're just building this person who isn't who you want to be. So they are like way more important than I think people often give credit to. So that book does sound quite good, because it probably got the power to change your life, I'm thinking.
Well, and I think, 2 minutes of exercise twice a day isn't going to make you an athlete. No, it's not. And it's not going to magically turn you into the most toned, strongest person around.
Damn.
Yeah. But it casts both, right? And I think with those votes you're casting, you start to grow in self-confidence, your self-esteem goes up. And I'm thinking about your followers who might be going back into dating.
Yeah.
Once they go back into that dating and they've cast some of these votes in for who they want to be, that is attractive. You present a more self-confident, it's an attractive version of yourself.
Yeah, which is huge. Like, attractiveness is basically having confidence, when you go on dates. So that's fantastic. That's a very powerful way to end, I think.
Okay, yes, we've gone over. So
I have no idea what the time is, but that's been amazing, Kate. Thank you. I really enjoyed that, because I'm basically trying to change up lots of habits myself, and I think it's just really good to hear that small ones, you can just build on them. And the way to do that, making life easy for yourself, and planning ahead so that everything just is easy, and making bad habits something difficult to achieve. It's all really powerful stuff.
And if anyone falls off the wagon, just don't give up.
With resolutions and habits, yeah.
One of the studies I mentioned, she actually saw that there was no long-term change to the outcome of people falling off the wagon a little bit.
Okay, so you just get back on it.
Yeah, pick yourself back up and get back on it.
Don't get disheartened. I think that's really important, because it is quite easy if you're like, oh my God, because I think my New Year's resolution this year is journaling, and there's probably been a couple of days this week where I haven't, because I've had a lot on. But that's okay. I'll just get back onto it tonight or tomorrow, and it's
you are a long journal, Saskia.
I am someone who journals.
Yeah.
It just feels a bit funny, but yes, I'm leaning into that. I'm someone who journals and learns about myself. So brilliant. That's been really good.
Thank you for having me. And if anyone's
got it's been fantastic. Have we got any questions in the group before we go? Lots of people. Lots of really nice challenges. Tori talks about devoting time to be creative. Yeah, we've had lots of really nice comments. Fantastic. Thanks, Kate. It's been really good fun. And I'm going to post this, and I will tag you, etc., and and I can share it, and then hopefully you can repost it on your Instagram as well. And I've really appreciated your time.
Anyone's tried any of these out, or does go on to try them, then it'd be lovely to hear about that and share them. So I think
share them with us. Let us know how you get on, and give Kate a follow. She's on Your Future Fit on Instagram, so head over there, because she's got loads of little weekly challenges that she does, and she talks you through it. And at the moment they're all quite short ones, so I don't know if you're going to grow on that, but right now they're short ones, and they're things you can do while you're cleaning your teeth, or you're in the shower. Amazing. Or you're waiting for the kettle to boil, and and you just feel good about yourself afterwards. So brilliant. All right, thanks, Kate. Really appreciated it. And see you soon. Bye.